Hey there, welcome to Product Marketing Maestros, Tales from the Front Lines. I'm your host, Nitin Kartik. As the author of the Amazon bestseller, Product Marketing Wisdom, I've always found that real-world case studies are the true litmus test for the effectiveness of any product marketing strategy. And that is why in this show, we dive into the minds of industry titans, as well as rising stars, unpacking their expertise in action-packed episodes that showcase the power of product marketing through real-world case studies. And today, my friends, we're joined by product marketing maestro Aruna Inalsingh. Aruna is a fractional CMO and a go-to-market leader driving rapid growth across technology and manufacturing companies. She has optimized seven-figure marketing budgets to lift inbound sales by 30%. She's also led large-scale engagement programs, improving operational efficiency by 99%. And she's also built high-impact demand generation and partner marketing engines for organizations including Honeywell, Parker Hannifin, BT Radiance, and Justly Markets. With deep expertise in branding, workflow optimization, and market strategy, Aruna consistently delivers measurable pipeline growth and ROI. She holds an MBA from Duke University and is a Six Sigma Master Black Belt. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Aruna. Aruna, welcome to the show.
Nitin, thank you so much. That was an absolutely wonderful introduction and synopsis of what's taken a long time to build. Looking forward to sharing with you some of the experiences and successes that I've had. And I actually have a specific case study that I'd like to share with you.
I love that, Aruna, and I'm so excited. So as you alluded to, Aruna, today we'll give the audience a situation from your experience, a case study, and we will use the ABC framework. So we'll talk about the antecedents, the prior challenges. We'll talk about the behaviors, the actions that you took, and we'll talk about the conclusion, how things played out. So with that, pick a situation, and Aruna, tell us, what were the antecedents? What were the prior challenges?
So it's really interesting. Just today, I spoke with a woman that I met about a year ago. And a year ago, she had this inspiration of something we are all very familiar with, AI, artificial intelligence. And her take on it was, everybody's familiar with the term artificial intelligence, also known as AI, but nobody quite knows what to do with it. Nobody quite knows how to make the most of it. Nobody even knows how to use it in a way that's really adding value. And so she, gave me a whole great long list of all the things she was going to do to become, kind of a master, right? A master and commander of AI. She's a lawyer. So she was going after companies that were in highly regulated environments. So she plugged along. Year goes by, life is good, and then I get a call. And what is the call? Well, Aruna, I know a lot of people, and people love my presentations. They love my knowledge. However, I can't get them to buy my service, and I don't know why. And she needed help. So I said, well, innocently, send me what you have, and let's talk about it. And we'll get you to where you go, which is basically lead gen and conversions, right? In marketing terms. And she sent me these 4 documents. And I will tell you, the documents were well written, very informative, but they were like research papers, not the kind of things that CEOs in law firms or fintech firms or investment bankers want to see. So that was my challenge, is to quickly convert her into what we call go-to-market speak.
Wow, I love that. And Aruna, what's interesting is I think there must be so many people in the audience who are struggling with that exact same challenge. Right now we have this data deluge, right? There's too much information. How do we make that presentable? So I love that. So thank you, Aruna, for laying the stage. Now, Aruna, given this challenge, how did that guide your behaviors and the actions that you took?
This is a tough one because it's a world common problem where everybody loves what they're making and they think everybody else should love it too. So if they've made it and they're selling it, people should be running to them to buy it, but it doesn't work that way. And when you're dealing with the founder of a company, it's extremely difficult to tell them, maybe it's not right. Maybe you need to rethink what you're doing, because they see that as a criticism of the greatness that they're bringing to the party. So we started with a very simple response. I reviewed very quickly, by the way, I didn't need to become an expert in this masterclass. I quickly reviewed the 4 pieces of literature. One was a sales sheet, one was an introduction letter, one was a proposal to somebody, and one was a deck, right, of what they were going to share with the client. I quickly reviewed it and realized the problem is there's no solution selling. This person has not identified the pain points, hasn't looked at the options that are available, and they haven't proven why they are the solution and they're better than everybody else. But I didn't say that. I sent an email basically saying, hey, I think you need to learn a little bit about the buying process, about the marketing funnel, and about solution selling. And let's talk about that the next time we meet. And I set up a scenario where we would have an open-ended meeting to teach her some marketing things through her literature, so that way we can improve her work in context of her feeling comfortable rather than criticized.
Wow, look at that. You had this challenge and you handled it so delicately. That's what I love about that. Sometimes it's about the way we message it, not just the message itself. So beautiful. So, Aruna, now I think we're all in suspense, right? So, now bring it home. So, tell us about the conclusion. So, tell us, how did the situation play out for you?
Nitin, 2 hours later, we had some decent results. It was interesting. So we set up a meeting. This was the meeting this morning, and I basically nerdily enough, I took my notes and I took the 4 documents that I'd gotten from this client, and I put little notes next to them, and I said, why don't we start like just looking at my notes and let me explain that to you. So number 1, this is a great informational sheet. However, it's not clear what people are going after. Like, what's the problem? What are they trying to solve? And well, the woman responded back. In this case, it was a woman with a long explanation. And I said, "You're a lawyer, aren't you?" And she said, "I am." I said, I'm a business person. I said, "I'm going to tell you, most business leaders, they have like a version of ADD. If you don't hook them right away, they're going to get lost in all the fray." So I literally took her through, there's an exercise called like the 7 whys. You think people need you. Why? He said, well, they need me because they don't understand AI in the world of compliance. And I said, okay. I said, if someone were to say that to you, would you get excited about talking to them? She said, no. I said, exactly. I said, what can we say? And so we literally went through 3 versions of the exercise only to find out this. CEOs need to be worried about the privacy of the information that's being stored. And with AI, employees are using public networks, which means they're sharing confidential information, which then will be used, right, deep learning, by other people. This is not what you want. And so we built this list of, are you worried about security? Are you worried about confidentiality? Is there risk to your company? Might you get fined? I'm going to tell you something. CEOs listen to that. And so she got excited because we started to define those pain points. From there, we basically extrapolated that to a meeting that she's having. So it's pain points with, here's my solution and here's why I'm better. Here are the 7 steps to get us there. Here are your 3 options on how I can serve you. And I recommend option 2 because it's robust, it provides policies, and it's ongoing feedback for continuous improvement.
Wow, brilliant. Look at that. You had this challenge, you handled it so tactfully, and it came away where the client, I presume, was very happy with the advice, right? And a lot of it was basically herself answering her own questions. Would you be excited about it? No. Okay, let's talk why. I love it. So excellent. I really appreciate that case study, Aruna. So thank you. I think the audience can learn so much from that. Now, tell us, Aruna, if people wanted to learn more about you and what's next for you, where can they do that?
Right now, I've got 2 ways. So, we're all on LinkedIn, so they can certainly check me out under Aruna Inalsingh on LinkedIn. My company's name is Any Marketing Service, ANI Marketing Service, singular. And I have a website, anymarketingservice.com, that shows about how I can help companies within 15 minutes or within 15 years, depending on what your needs are.
I love that. 15 minutes of 15 years. I think I may be stealing that. Excellent. So thank you, Aruna. Folks, there you have it. Please reach out to Aruna for more insights. And for even more insights, check out my Amazon bestseller, Product Marketing Wisdom, at productmarketingwisdom.com. And see you next time on Product Marketing Maestros.